Welcome back, guys. We are going to do another 1 hour live session with the episode and the segment we've been calling Sweating the Details. So once again, we're going to be doing a 1 hour live session, little tips, tricks, how I like to use the sauna. And this episode, we're going to go through a couple key things, a few things we've gone over, especially just getting into these summer months, using the sauna year round, how that's super beneficial, kind of things we've heard from customers. If you guys have any questions, obviously drop them down in the chat. JC, thanks for joining. I am Joe, thanks for joining. Lynn, thanks for joining. Let me know where you guys are watching from. If you have a sauna, if you're curious about getting one, if you have any questions, drop them down below. I'm using the Good Health Sauna's Corner Hybrid today. So this is, again, one of my personal favorite units. You get that really nice L-shaped bench. And going into the infrared sauna industry, we talk about it, we live it, we breathe it every single day, and we know it can kind of be information overload out there. And so a couple key things that I wanted to jump into on today's episode is just a few things and a few common questions that we hear, especially if you're just starting your sauna search or if you're entering in that phase where you're curious what it's actually going to look like in your own home. One of the most common questions we get is, how much electricity does this use? Is this just gonna run up my electric bill? And that's one of the really nice parts about an infrared sauna is most customers don't even notice it. So $5, maybe $10 a month, and that's at most with daily usage for about an hour or so. So most customers, like I said, don't even notice it. Has that nice quick heat up time, at least all the Good Health saunas, and even this hybrid series have that super quick heat up time with the amount of heaters in it. And so you really don't have to worry about any electrical consumption because it's a 110/20 amp. So it's not going to be like a 220, and it's not always running. So that's one of the nice parts compared to a lot of other appliances where you're going to not need to constantly keep power drawing. This only runs 15-20 minutes, heats up, let it run for another 45, maybe an hour long, $5-10 a month. So you really don't have to worry about that. And Felicia, thanks for joining. Big thing that we hear a lot from customers too is what time of day do you prefer, or what time is the best to use an infrared sauna? And they answered the question kind of by asking it is, when do you prefer to use it? And so that's kind of the key, is using it when is more applicable to your schedule. So if you have time in the morning, if you're a morning person and that's when it's going to work best into your schedule, I would say use it then. Now, if you always know you have some time in the evening, you really like just winding down, kind of using it as more of that relaxation, use it in the evening. For me, I like using it in the morning. I like using it at midday. I like using it in the evening. There isn't really a better time per se. Now, staying super hydrated throughout the entire process, and especially something where you're going to use it consistently 3, 4, 5 times a week, making sure you're staying super hydrated the entire time is super important. And so there are a lot of customers who get their sauna and then they wonder, are there any accessories that I needed? Did I miss out on anything? And especially with the Good Health Saunas Hybrid series, everything comes fully loaded. So you not only get the 360-degree heating elements, the full spectrum low EMF heating elements, you get the ultra low, or you get the all real lumber construction, and then you also get that lifetime warranty. But you do get a couple neat accessories in that hybrid series as far as cup holders, essential oil tray. You get built-in Bluetooth system, so audiobooks, podcasts, music, air purification unit as well. And then again, all that's backed with that lifetime warranty. So accessories, there's really none. We do always recommend just some nice plush towels. So you guys will see here shortly, I'm gonna put towels on the bench, towels on the floor. That's just gonna keep the maintenance to minimal, if any. And so I can just take the damp towels out when we're done. And if I want to wipe down the lumber, maybe 3 parts water, 1 part apple cider vinegar every 6 months or so. So that's the nice part about having a health and wellness tool in the comfort of your own home. That isn't something that when you use it, you have to worry about cleaning it every single time. You just throw some towels in, take the damp towels out when you're done. You can always run that air purification unit for a little extra measure too. So we're gonna get the unit kicked up here and you guys will see it have a nice quick heat up time. I'll get the towels put in shortly after that. And as always, staying super hydrated. And so the sauna is again gonna be starting out obviously around room temp. So 70-ish degrees, make sure it's turned up all the way and just turn that timer up as well. And again, jumping in the corner hybrid, my fan favorite, if you will, because the nice L-shaped bench gives me plenty of room to stretch out. We went over kind of key things and a couple key questions that we get asked a lot. And MCB Coaching, thanks for joining. One of the other big ones is, I didn't mean to do that. I wanted to see my piece of paper. What time of day, or we already asked that. What do most buyers get wrong before purchasing? And so a couple of the key things is analysis paralysis. I couldn't tell you how many people I've spoke to who have gone down the gauntlet of infrared sauna search, and they see so many different options out there ranging from 1,500 all the way up to 15, 20,000. And it's so hard to decipher what separates a low quality and what even makes one high quality. And so the most important part that we always talk about is that lumber construction. You want to make sure it's ultra low EMF, so you're not exposing yourself to high levels of EMF. And then you want to make sure that it has emissivity testing and it's backed with a VOC air quality report. So those are the 3 key testing factors. And then we get into the heater and the sauna design. So that goes into heater placement and heater layout. And so those are really the key factors that everyone kind of circles back to when they get their sauna, once they start using it consistently and they realize, if I had to do it all again, I would really worry about what's going to be the most comfortable unit for me and my family. Does it have enough heaters that are actually going to get hot enough? And is this something that is built to last and it's going to be reliable and it's obviously safe for my entire family too? So those are the key things that you want to look at no matter who you get an infrared sauna from. And there's tons of advertising and marketing out there. And especially with today's day and age, we have Father's Day coming up. So you're going to be seeing all those Father's Day promotions. There's a few things where even in these summer months, we talk to people who they may not think sauna is the first thing on their mind. I mean, I wouldn't if you go outside on those hot, humid summer days. But using an infrared sauna is a lot different than just going outside on that warm summer day. And so passive heat from the sun barely makes you sweat. And so a sauna pushes your body and your core temperature to actually allow for that detoxifying sweat. Even though you may go outside, you may feel warm, you're not actually getting that deep detoxifying sweat. And so then again, even in those cold winter months where people may feel more tired or they may feel a little more exhausted just because they're outside on those hot, humid summer days, your body's not necessarily sweating and you're still not getting that much cardiovascular workout. And so using the sauna actually really amplifies that cardiovascular workout, because even in those summer ones when you're not moving around, you're gonna help that blood flow throughout your entire body. So that's gonna help just aches, pains, inflammation, arthritis. But then using a sauna year round also just helps your body regulate. You're gonna start to sweat a little bit quicker, but then that also means you're gonna start to cool off faster. And then if you put your body in that high heat type state, it's gonna take a little bit longer to start sweating. And so helping regulate your body, at least for me, helps it sleep a lot better at night so I can fall asleep a lot quicker, much deeper sleep. And so those are all just the addicting feelings in a good way. And so another big thing is just the heart hack. And so it's an equivalent to doing that light passive cardiovascular workout compared to having that high abrasive, almost a sprint type traditional sauna where you can only stay in for 5-10 minutes. That infrared sauna, you stay in for 45 up to an hour, that passive cardiovascular workout. So it actually allows more blood flow without putting that wear and tear on your joints and your muscles. So tons of long-term health benefits when you can detox, pulling out the heavy metals, toxins, carcinogens, obviously reduce your risk for Alzheimer's, dementia, and almost all-cause mortality. And so using the sauna is one of the smartest investments out there. And especially for me, like I said, using it at nighttime helps me sleep a lot better. So we got Jay Gall in the chat. Thanks for joining. The B Johnson just joined. Ashley, thanks for joining. If you guys have any questions, drop them down in the chat. If you guys have our saunas, we'd love to hear from you, see how much you love them. If you're thinking about getting one or comparing against any others out there, more than happy to kind of help you decipher this crazy industry that we're in. And so this is the Good Health Saunas Corner Hybrid. This is going to be a 5 foot by another 5 feet coming out from the back corner, 75 inches tall. It just plugs into a 110 20 amp connection, so no venting, no plumbing, no water lines. Solid lumber construction throughout the entire unit. So that's something where we could take the camera around here and show you all the backs, the bottoms, the top. Solid lumber construction, guys. It's not particle board, plywood, press board. That's something you're not gonna see and you're gonna find in those lower quality units where that's just what they are. They're built for a certain price point. And so no matter who you get one from, if you want it to get hot enough, and I've traveled the country and I've used all different brands, all different types of saunas, and especially infrared saunas, from the low quality big box store ones you can see online to the retailed $20,000, $30,000 ones with the iPads and all the bells and whistles that actually perform a lot worse than some of the other units you can see out there. And really nothing competes with the hybrid series. That's the whole reason that Good Health Saunas came out with it, is to be the safest, the most well-built, well-designed infrared sauna on the market, not sacrifice anything as far as construction, design, and then also back it with the best customer service and reputation and warranty in the industry. So no matter what sauna you get from us, you're absolutely gonna love it. The hybrid works out well for our case because you do get that transparent glass compared to the Signature. It does have that nice privacy mirror if you are looking for that. And so with obviously the saunas, there are many different options out there, and this is a corner unit. We also have rectangular shapes, so that's gonna be a 4x5 or a 4x4. So plenty of different options, what your space is capable of, what you wanna do with your space. And so this is just one of those things where I know, especially when I go online and I just look for anything, it's so hard, and you may start just looking at Amazon and then you realize, okay, this probably isn't going to be the best, or you look at just the pictures on the screen and it almost doesn't even look like real pictures, where when you start doing a little bit deeper dive, then you get to where a lot of our customers get to, where they realize, okay, I want to invest a little bit of money. I want to make sure I'm getting something that's actually going to work, that's I know I'm getting the benefits from, and it's going to last. And then you get down to a couple companies where you realize, okay, there are some decent companies out there, and what really separates the high quality ones from the other decent ones is that reputation, that warranty, and then obviously credibility. So look for real reviews by customers for customers. That's something where we do these lives to show you guys how easy it can be to use an infrared sauna in the comfort of your own home. Nice quick heat up time. I turned the unit on 5-10 minutes ago and it's already up to about 103 degrees right now. So that's close to the core body temp, that 98.6. That's when I want to jump in the unit. So that's going to allow my body to heat up with it, make sure those heaters are constantly running, compared to if I let it get up to the max temps or my set temp at 165, then those heating elements cycle on and off. So the best way to use it is get in around that core body temp, heat up with the unit, and then I'm in there the entire time those heaters are running, maximizing that absorption of the infrared. And so I'm gonna throw the towels on the bench here, and I'm gonna ask Alexis to get my chat back up on the screen. And then we will be jumping in here shortly for the 1 hour live session in the Good Health Sauna's Corner Hybrid. So bear with us while we get situated, and it's that easy, guys, as far as just some towels on the bench, towels on the floor, and that's pretty much all you have to do. So I was talking with a customer earlier this week who is designing their kind of relaxation space, the Zen Den, if you will, and they were talking about having just a nice bucket of towels sitting on the side, so when you walk in, you can just grab a towel, throw those down, and that's one of the nice parts is once you start seeing it in your space and realizing I can pretty much put this thing anywhere, that's when customers really start to utilize the benefits of just consistently sweating. And so with using just any type of product, you want to make sure you're getting the most out of it. And that's obviously why we try and do these lives, just to answer any questions. If you have your sauna, if you're thinking about getting one, if you're curious what this even looks like, where can I even put one of these, we try and go through all of those and kind of just jump you guys throughout the process and show you kind of the innards of the industry. So we got the corner unit running. I'm jumping in here shortly. It's about 106, so it's about that time. And we're gonna jump in the sauna. I got my water bottle filled up, and we will meet you guys in there. Welcome in, guys. We have just jumped in the corner hybrid unit. So we got a couple people joining. Mo Joman, thanks for joining. The Karasik, thanks for joining. Welcome. Jill says she loves her Good Health saunas. That's awesome, Jill. How long have you had it for? Where did you get it from? Was it just online, or were you stopping out at one of our events? And that's another big thing that you're not gonna have the opportunity if you guys live in pretty much any of the Midwest states. We do state fairs all across those. So Wisconsin, Iowa, Michigan, Minnesota. If you're out in Iowa, Ohio, New York, Massachusetts, Freiburg up in Maine, so anywhere pretty much in the New England area. We have been doing events out there for the past 20 plus years, and having the ability to go out, touch, see, feel the units. And even if you can't stop out to one of our events, we're still more than happy to FaceTime, show you through all the different options. If you have particular questions that's health related, that it's about some particular illness or ailment that you're trying to work through, with the vast variety of team that we have here, there's probably someone that has dealt with it, has a customer that has a similar story, or can point you in the right direction to get you the information just with all the resources that we have. And that's something that you're not going to see, is having a company that will have a solid product, stand behind it, and then also answer questions along the way and just try and be the most beneficial resource. So this is why we go and show you what a typical sauna session can look like, especially in just a high quality sauna. And with the big sales that are coming up, I know Father's Day is one of them, and all the dads out there, we thank them for everything that they do. And we know that typically dads who say don't get me anything for Father's Day, they're the ones who could use the time the most just to relax, use the sauna, just unplug, sit down and take a moment. So happy Father's Day from all of us at GHS. And if you're thinking of something, or if you don't know what to get that father, significant other, husband, get them a sauna. It's a gift that's going to keep them giving back to their whole family, being able to be more present, have the peace of mind, and knowing you're going to be able to use it, get the benefits, they're getting the benefits, the whole family can be able to use it. So for all the fathers out there who says, don't get me anything this year, I was having a customer earlier who they had been together, I think it was almost 40, if not longer years, and they had ran out of things to get him, but we were driving up here and we were joking where this is something where you can get it, he's going to use it, and you can tell him you're getting it to keep him around a lot longer. So that's not very common in a lot of other things, where investing any type of money is super beneficial when you know you're going to get those long-term health benefits from it. So that's one of the big benefits. Like I said, having just the comfort, the quick heat up time. If you guys want to use it together, this corner unit's really nice. If I wanted to sit over here, it's a little bit more conversational style of sitting. Or if I was in here and if, let's say, I had a significant other and she wants to have her legs up, or if I want to have my legs up, and there's still plenty of room on this bench for anyone else. So having something that you get the option to just go in, enjoy with someone else. If you have the space for it, I always recommend going with the larger size unit. I've never had a customer get the larger size and say, oh, I wish I went with the smaller. And so this corner unit, normally I just have the audiobooks, podcast going, and with, like I said, taking a moment for all the fathers out there. Research show fathers are the most stressed, the most overlooked, and the least likely to do anything about it. And so having something in the comfort of your own home, when you can go in, relax, get that passive cardiovascular workout. And like we said, that summer heat isn't the same type of sweat. That passive heat from the sun isn't going to heat your body and raise that core temperature enough to actually get the detoxifying benefits, to actually get the cardiovascular benefits. And so still using an infrared sauna year round is super, super beneficial, and something that we advocate for completely. And so that's something that you're not going to see, like I said, with a lot of other products out there. And knowing and having something with the company that's been around for 2+ decades is just impossible to find. We've seen so many crazy things happen in the great SpaceX IPO, where the world's forever changing and who knows where the future will take us. you obviously want to put your health first. And I've been doing this long enough and have seen so many people at many different points throughout their life where they use their health chasing their wealth, and then they use the wealth to try and buy back the health. And it never works that way. And you want to be proactive. You don't want to be reactive. There are so many people that have used the infrared sauna to transform just their skin health, their heart health, detox protocol, any aches, pains, just general inflammation, arthritis. You're getting tons and tons of benefits just using the sauna. And I mean, having something or just having the opportunity to extend those years in a more holistic, natural way. I know I was talking last week about there's so many, I mean, GLP-1s and just all of the enhancements and all the almost unnatural ways to go about improvements, and everyone wants to kind of use the two bird or take one rock for two birds, and that however that saying goes. But that's something where using the sauna and trying to add in, let's say, a red light therapy, or if you get the people who want to still use the cold tub and get the contrast therapy, those are all still excellent things to do for your health. But when you only, if I only had to choose one, it would be sweating. Because even if I was, or even if I looked back to when I was growing up and on those hot summer days, or if I was just getting done with a football practice or a basketball practice, I never felt better as far as my body, my muscles, as when I was deep in that workout. So my muscles never felt as loose. I never felt as strong. I never felt as just relaxed and ready to go as in that peak cardiovascular workout. And that's just because the amount of blood flow. And so the cold plunge is still nice. You get that immediate instant relief. It feels good 5, 10, 15 minutes after, but nothing feels as good as actually getting that heart rate elevated enough to get your heart, or get that deep sweat, detox, pull out the heavy metals, the toxins, the carcinogens. And so that's something that is underrated in my opinion. And for those that, I know I was talking with someone who had never even thought about the sauna. They had seen us maybe a year or 2 years ago, and they were now just starting to think about it because their basement had to get redone. I think a pipe burst or something happened where they had to get in the basement redone, and they now just came up on some space where they're thinking of the sauna. And she had thought years and years that a sauna wasn't anything for her. She had friends that had them. She had never even looked at them. And now she's reading all the health benefits about it and had the epiphany that this is something that she should have done years ago. If it has all these health benefits and it's been getting talked about for this long, why aren't I doing it? Why haven't I looked into this more? And it's not one of those kind of phases or trends that is going to dip off over time. It's been growing and exploding more and more every year with the scientific background from just the detox with firefighters. I mean, the muscle relaxation and recovery with all the athletes, pro, Olympic, and then obviously just the general public and the amount of benefits that they've seen throughout all different walks of life. And so this one has definitely been a little bit more informational. We like to try and keep them super beneficial for you guys and make sure we can compound a ton of information in the shortest amount of time, because like I said, we know everyone has a crazy busy life nowadays, and when you start to look at something and you realize, oh, there's too many different options, you don't want to make the wrong choice. Sometimes making that wrong choice is not making a choice. And by looking for one and actually thinking about, oh, this is something I'd probably use, I'd want to use, it sounds nice, I get the benefits, I get why it works, I know it would make me feel good, but I don't know which one to choose, so I'm not gonna make the choice at all. And that's something where we try and make it a super easy decision for you. Obviously, we get that it is a business at the end of the day, and it is an industry where there are other companies out there, but there aren't any other companies out there that solely just focus on infrared saunas. They may try and sell you a massage gun, a bathtub, a kitchen remodel, some clothing, a red light therapy panel, and it's just another product to them. Whereas Good Health Saunas, we focus on making the safest, the hottest, the most well-built, well-designed infrared sauna, and that's hands down. There's not a sauna out there that can compete with this hybrid series. Even though it may look nice, there's nothing as far as functionality, rock solid build, and then it's just backed with the best warranty in the industry. So make sure you're doing your due diligence. I know when you start looking at higher quality units, then you start looking for a couple key things like we talked about earlier. You start asking, oh, is this low EMF? Is this made with real lumber? This isn't particle board, this isn't plywood, and this is full spectrum, right? And so those are the questions we get asked a lot. And that's why not only do we say, yeah, these are low EMF, these are super low EMF, less than smartwatch, less than the phones in our pocket. Yeah, this is all real lumber. It's Canadian FSC certified hemlock, 100%, no plywood, pressboard, no particle board. We don't say it's all full spectrum heating elements, 360-degree coverage. We go above and beyond that, and we actually have third-party companies come out. They test fully functional, fully operational units, and we not only take those test results, we post them right to our website. So we have a company called IAQ Diagnostics. They actually come out, they take air samples from inside the units, ensure nothing's off-gassing into the unit. And that's because it is all real lumber. It's not particle board, it's not plywood, it's not pressboard. And even though companies can advertise no glues and advertise real lumber and non-toxic materials, unless they actually have the reports to show it, it's really just marketing and advertising. Because right now there's no overarching entity coming out saying the company needs to have a safe product, needs to have an effective product, and it needs to do what it say it's going to do. And so that's why we have IAQ Diagnostics come out and do the air quality sample. We have Vitatech Electromagnetics, who its main purpose is testing electric fields in schools, offices, churches to ensure safe environments. They come out, test fully functional, fully operational units, multiple different testing points throughout the entire unit, and ensure it's all ultra low EMF, ELF, and that's under 2 megagauss throughout the entire unit. And so that's less than our smartwatches, less than the phones in our pocket, and definitely less than the camera and the MacBook and everything that I'm talking on right now. And so if they can't actually provide you with that third-party testing and that reporting, it's more marketing and advertising. And the more they try and tell you about how it is, if they can't just show you the report, that's just meaning they're spending more money on marketing and advertising to tell more and more people that it actually is, compared to having a company come out and just tell them it is what they actually are telling people. And so that's something you're not going to see. Look for the dates of the testing. You may get some company that'll throw you a report from a decade ago where the company that they had it done from may not even be in business or may not even be a real company. And so look and do your due diligence. It's crazy that the consumer has to do that in this industry. And that's why, like I said, we try and go above and beyond and show you the key things. And it really depends what you're looking for health-wise. There are some people where are looking for the skin benefits. They may just be looking for that high heat type and just want that really, really high abrasive air temperature type heat. And then it really boils down to, okay, what's out there for you? What have you seen? What are you comparing it to? And then you really just check it or check off those key boxes. Heater design, real construction, and then the type of heaters. And so if they can't answer those 3 questions, and if it's not solid lumber construction with the here's the VOC or quality report, and if it's not here's the full spectrum heating system and here's the 360-degree design, then they're really just, again, more marketing and advertising and looking at it as more just a product and compared to just looking at it as a health and an investment in your health. And so those are all really, really key things to cover. I didn't start my watch, so that was an uber fail on my part. We've been in for probably about 10 or so minutes. We're starting to get a good sweat, so we're going to start the watch now. And I know I got in with about 10 minutes in, so yeah, we've been in for about maybe 10, 12 minutes or so, and we're gonna kick this up to 45 and see how long we can go. So this is a good test because everyone in the industry likes to get caught up on that temperature and the time and what's the best and what's gonna get me the most and can I do this with that, and it boils down to using it consistently. It's not gonna be it's not a competition of who can sit in it at the longest for the highest temperature, or who can sit in at the lowest temperature for the longest amount of time. It's who is gonna win that consistency battle, that everyday battle of I'm gonna use it 3-4 times a week. And using and looking at the sauna is not only something where you're investing in your health, but it's actually enjoyable. I mean, I like to go to the gym, but it's not like I enjoy doing it every single day. I know that I should, I know that I have to, it's gonna be good for me, it's gonna be more beneficial in the long run, but the sauna is something that every day I can look forward to use. It's super, super simple. That's why doing these lives are really enjoyable, because of how easy it is to just come in here, relax, sit in that heat. I was golfing this past weekend, so again, using it to get to those muscles that I just can't roll out with a rolling pin. I can't get to it with a massage gun. I really can't get to it with just a normal stretch. And even a massage doesn't get that same type of feeling as that infrared heat. I don't know if it's just because it's the improved blood flow. I don't know if it's actually getting into that soft tissue muscle, but nothing compares to that infrared heat. And so, like I said, having something with enough heaters that are actually going to get into that soft tissue muscle 3 times deeper than traditional, just abrasive hot air, you're going to notice the benefits in the long run. And again, people ask, oh, is it hot in here? I've only used the traditional sauna where they're so used to that high ambient air temperature where it's nice, it feels good for 5-10 minutes. When you're in there and it's almost a suffocating type feeling, that's when you notice. And especially for anyone with like a heart condition or like AFib, you got to be a little careful in just like traditional saunas or steam rooms where you actually can use and get a ton of benefits with the infrared saunas. And so having something where you know the infrared heaters go all the way above neck and shoulders for anyone with just shoulder pain, neck. Same thing with the back. We were talking about the other day, what is the hardest working job? Probably concrete, moving, just contorting your body in all different functions. But then also having a desk job. When you're sitting idle, what you're not doing is getting more blood flow. So having 2 kind of tail ends of the spectrum isn't obviously beneficial, where having just something, and it's again a tool in your tool belt where you know you're getting a lot more benefit with just that infrared heat than again having just that massage gun or something just for that external surface, going in that steam room, or again just getting that deep or that massage from the external kind of superficial level. So we are starting to get the good sweat going. I can really, again, just get the glow, and little beads of sweat are starting to drip and just accumulate across my entire body. It's still, again, coming from all the pores in my face. So you're getting those skin purifying benefits. You're going to help repair and pull a lot of those natural oils to the surface of the skin. So everyone kind of sees those red light masks and how those can be super popular, and they may look good, and I don't know if anyone's ever used them before, but it doesn't feel like it's doing much. And for me, I genuinely don't know if it does, and a lot of them out there don't, just because it's not actually producing medical grade red light. It's almost just like having LED bulbs sitting close to your face. So if it's not actually producing medical grade red light, then that's one thing. But even if it is, I feel like the sauna and having the natural just sweat is gonna allow your body to not only have more natural and just refresh oils on the surface, it's gonna just help regulate it again. Compared to, again, that red light therapy, even though it's close to my face, I'm getting close to the superficial level. However, I'm still just whatever's on that superficial level, putting it closer on it. And yeah, you can wash your face, you can do this, you can do that, but nothing really is going to be the same as having the pores open up. And then when you get out of the sauna, that's another thing. You're in that high heat type environment, and even an infrared sauna is going to have some ambient air temperature heat. So even in that high ambient air temperature, when you get out, that's going to close the pores up. So that's going to help with skin elasticity, again, that skin purification, and then just allowing a lot of natural oils to resurface to the skin. So ton of those benefits that you're getting with just those red light masks, you're getting in an infrared sauna. And same thing with kind of those vibration plates. I really haven't personal experience. I know more fives when you're using it, maybe when you're done using it, but nothing really beats that deep detoxifying sweat. And so we got user Bronx. Thanks for joining. Welcome. If you guys are just joining us, we're about 20 minutes in. Heart rate is getting up there in the 90s, close to the hundreds now. We were going for hour-long session in the Good Health Saunas Corner unit. So we are starting to get that good sweat going. We went over a lot of fun key details tonight. We have went over what to look for, what are the most common questions, how much does it cost to run my sauna, and most customers, again, don't even notice it. Maybe $5-10 a month. That's with daily usage, and that's because it's not constantly drawing power. It's only drawing power when you're using it. So again, daily usage, about an hour or two a day, maybe $5-10 a month. Most customers don't even notice it at all. And then, are there any kind of accessories that I need for my sauna? And I showed you guys what you need. It's just towels on the bench. You want the towels on the floor. And any company that says, oh, well, you can have this add-on, or maybe there's this upgrade that I can throw in for you for free, that's really just, again, marketing and advertising. If it was designed and supposed to be in the sauna, why wouldn't they have just put it in there originally? And it's the same thing with the features on your car. If it isn't meant to be in there, it probably isn't entirely designed for functionality purpose. It's more a luxury type. And an infrared sauna is going to be an investment. It is definitely an investment in your health, and you pay for that. But what you get in return is a lot happier, healthier life in the long run. And so using it consistently, like I said, is the best way. But for me, when to use it is something that I get asked, and there really isn't the best answer. It's when you're most likely to use it. Now, for me, I would say morning is probably, just for me, the most consistent time I can use it. I like to go in the gym. I like to use it after the workout. That muscle relaxation, that muscle recovery, nice way to kind of jumpstart the day. And I won't feel as tired or just have that mental fog that you can sometimes have in those mornings. And even in these summer months, with the daytime and the sunlight staying out longer, getting that sleep and getting that deep sleep, it pays dividends in the long run. And so, again, we've been preaching it all night, but having something in the comfort of your own home, and again, Father's Day coming up, and with fathers, a lot of them out there won't say get me anything, but when they realize they can use this as just a way to relax and get all of those deep detoxifying benefits, it's an addicting feeling in a good way. And that's not something you're going to find out there commonly in today's day and age. Most addicting things come with negatives and side effects. The infrared sauna is the only thing that I can say in my life that is an addicting feeling and brings positives. The only downside is you do use a lot of towels. That's the only thing. But in the grand scheme of things, it's the smartest, most beneficial investment one can make in their health. And that's hands down, you won't find another product. And that's something comes out, and I'll be the first one to admit it. I like jumping on all the cool trends, and I always have looked into it, but if I can't understand it, and it's kind of that same premise where if you can't explain it to me in a couple quick sentences, or if I can't get it in one conversation, 20, 40 minutes, maybe an hour, then it probably isn't something that I want to be too involved in. And so looking at it from just a bare basic standpoint, you get a lot of benefits, makes me feel good. Sweating's supposed to be good for me. But then when you start looking a little bit deeper, I feel like that's when people get pushed out of the boat. And that's an unfortunate thing in today's society, because health should be easy and accessible and user-friendly and stress-free and hassle-free, and to have to jump through all these hoops and to get bombarded and to play the marketing and advertising game, it is quite impressive what the consumer has to go through to find the highest quality product. And I guess that just boils down to the science of the free market, and that's something where you're really seeing it now as companies, and I think you're going to see that really explode as companies that have popped up in maybe the past year or two have some major issues as far as customer service, customer relations. If they don't have good relations with suppliers, manufacturers, what have you, it's going to lead to more headaches in the long run. And so that's something that I know is obviously inevitable no matter what industry you're in. And even if you're just looking at it from a consumer standpoint, where what's going to be the best product for me, for my price point, where even if you want to look at it as kind of like you're a business, where what's going to get me the best return on my investment, I can't think of another thing or a better thing that has more pros and less cons than a sauna. And yeah, that initial investment is an investment. It is going to cost you, and that's something in my years that I've learned is you do get what you pay for. And unfortunately, in today's day and age, there's a lot of companies out there that will just look at it as a quick buck to make, and that's something where we've been so conditioned as consumers to realize that there may only be one option. I have to get it from the big box store. It's all up to me, where I hope I made the right choice, because no one was there to talk to me and answer my questions and figure out what I needed. And that's where I was working in Madison. Customer came in, they thought they were looking for a traditional sauna. We kind of started talking about what they were looking for. He ended up being a retired police officer, 20 plus years in service, obviously put a pretty big wear and tear on his body. He was really looking for that deep muscle relaxation, that muscle recovery. Now, you talk to her, she wasn't necessarily looking for that deep muscle relaxation, muscle recovery. She wasn't feeling as inflamed or as kind of just as beat up on the body overall. Now, when we talked to her, her biggest thing was the skin. She wanted to get the skin purifying benefits. She also wanted to get a little bit of the cardio benefits. She heard it's good for the heart health. And so then looking at his muscle relaxation, his muscle recovery, looking at her passive cardiovascular workout, her passive cardiovascular workout, looking at her skin purifying benefits, we realized the hybrid series gives them the best of both worlds. Matthew McDuffie with the goat emoji or the duck emoji. We got all these people joining in my screen, and thank you all for joining. So we'll read it off here slowly, but Emily, thanks. Mary, thanks for joining. Brian, welcome guys. Drop where you're watching from. If you have any questions in the chat, we're more than happy to go through those. But when we were talking to her, she was looking for those skin purifying benefits, those cardiovascular benefits. He's looking for that muscle relaxation, that muscle recovery. And then we look at the hybrid series, and she wasn't too inclined on that traditional sauna. She knew it was going to be good for her. She liked the idea of getting a sauna. She knew more about infrared. She wanted the infrared. She didn't really want to tell him that we were just going to get an infrared sauna because she didn't know too much about it, had never really tried one before. And then we had the chance to actually talk with them. We showed them the hybrid series. We showed them how hot it can get, how it can actually feel at that high temperature if you want to use it that way. And then we explained what the difference is between an infrared sauna, a traditional sauna, a steam room was, and realized that all the benefits that they're looking for, those got checked with the hybrid series, and they didn't have to run any, or didn't have to worry about as much maintenance. They didn't have to worry about that heat up time or having a traditional sauna indoors. And then they're getting it from a company that backs it with that lifetime warranty. They were at one of our events. They ended up getting one of the floor models there at their event, and they're absolutely loving it so far. So those are stories that we hear all too often. Breeski, thanks for joining. 262. Liesel, thanks for joining. Welcome. If you guys are just seeing this for the first time, this is something we do every Tuesday. It's a 1 hour live session in the Good Health Saunas, corner hybrid, or any type of infrared sauna where it's sweating the details. We've done all the sweating and we found the details, and we like to go through it all in one nice quick session with you guys and show you what the benefits of an infrared sauna can look like. Just tips and tricks on how to get the most out of your new infrared sauna. And if you have any questions, we obviously want to answer those too. So we are probably about 30-ish minutes into the session, and heart rate's up in the hundreds now. Like I said, that muscle relaxation, muscle recovery is just uncharted territories as far as there's nothing else like it. We've had a ton of great conversation as to why sweating is beneficial in the summer and especially year round. So the big one is just having that passive heat from the sun barely activates your sweat glands. So the infrared sauna pushes your core temperature high enough to actually open up those detox pathways. And so using that again consistently year round is going to keep those natural detox pathways open, allow for just a more regulatory body state. And so having just a sauna that trains your body to regulate temperature is going to, again, allow yourself to have those high stress type environments not feel as combative on your body. Your nervous system's just more regulated. It's not going to feel as fight or flight response in those initial reactions. So having the less stress on your heart, it's going to make you feel more alert, more awake, more energized. And that's something that I notice if I don't use the sauna in the morning. I won't feel as alert. I won't feel as awake. I won't feel as ready to go throughout the day. I'll feel a little more tired throughout the day. And so that's where everyone, I'm sure, has stayed up too late with one of these first summer nights, having the sun stay out till 9. But with a sauna that has the ability to heat up super quick, you're not in that high abrasive type heat. And Kathy also asked a question, can the sauna be placed on carpet? That is a great question, Kathy. Yes, the saunas can be placed on carpet. You can put them on carpet, hardwood, finished, unfinished flooring, so they can go up against, flush up against walls. There's no venting, there's no plumbing, there's no water lines. Most of them plug into a 110 20 amp connection. We do have 15 amp options as well. And if you're thinking of putting it first floor, second floor, in the basement, you can put it pretty much anywhere, as all the units, super easy, buckle clip, plug and play design. So very, very good questions. Kathy, are you thinking about getting one? And have you been looking for a while? Or which one are you looking at? If not, is this the first time you're seeing us? Where are you watching from? We are, again, staying super hydrated, being that now we are sweating profusely throughout the entire body. Towel, we kick that over the floor just to make sure we're getting the maximum sweat absorption, just to keep our life a little bit easier here in the showroom. And so Kathy had a great question. She can put it on carpet, and that's one of the nice parts is you can put it on carpet. And if you're putting it in like an unfinished basement, and let's say you're planning on finishing it later down the road, with how easy it is to put together and take it apart, you can put it up and take it down and not have to worry about much. It's not built into the home. And that's another thing with like traditional saunas or steam rooms, where if it's not already pre-built into the home, having someone come in after the fact, make sure it's done properly so you don't have to worry about mold, mildew, it's vented, exhausted properly. The infrared just plugs right in. You put it again, carpet, hardwood, flush up against any type of flooring, or any type of wall on any type of flooring. Kathy, I have the 3-person hybrid. I have it in a first floor spare bedroom that is carpeted. That is awesome, Kathy. Yeah, that's a great spot to have it. Great unit as well. We're in the corner unit, so if you have that rectangular unit, very, very similar design. You probably have the built-in ergonomics with the lumbar support, little curvature to the seat as well. This has just a standard flat back, flat bench, which I actually don't mind in the corner unit just because how much I move around. Kathy, I wasn't sure if I needed to buy a heat-resistant mat for it. No, you don't have to worry about that, Kathy. With how thick the construction is, especially on that base, you're really not going to see any ambient heat escaping. So that's pretty much throughout the entire unit. You don't have to worry about it heating up the room or anything like that. So that's great. Great, you have it. How long have you had it for? And we are about 35 minutes in. And guys, this is when I would be able to just say I am sweating as much, if not more, in an infrared sauna, but I'm actually able to sit in it longer. So compared to where if this was a traditional sauna, my head would feel like it's gonna pop, the infrared heat is much less abrasive. So I can still take that deep breath. It's not burning my ears, it's not burning my nose, it's not burning my mouth, but I've raised the core temperature enough to allow my body's natural recovery mode. That's why I'm starting to sweat. If you've ever been super sick at night, sleeping throughout the night, you're sweating in your sleep, that's your body's natural recovery mode. You're simulating that inside the sauna by raising that core temperature roughly 3.5 degrees. So those are the big benefits with an infrared sauna. And again, consistently using that. C. Hefner, what's up? My boy. We're deep in the sauna session, but using it consistently, and again in those summer months too, when everyone thinks, oh, I'm outside more, I'm doing more, they may actually be doing less, because even though it's hotter outside, you're feeling like you're more exhausted even though you haven't done as much, just because that higher heat. And so using the sauna again helps regulate your body. You're keeping those natural detox pathways open, allowing for those heavy metals, those toxins, those carcinogens that aren't supposed to be in the body naturally pulled out. And then again, you get all those passive cardiovascular workouts. So any aches, pains, for me, helps with the golf game. I always say adds 20 yards to my drive. But those are things you're not going to see in pretty much any other health product out there. And so the more natural, holistic way is probably why you don't see it or haven't heard of it more. It's not that necessarily quick fix. Now, it is the immediate relief. Now, you're going to get instant relief, let's say pain, inflammation, arthritis, but those long-term health benefits, that's only going to come with consistently. And again, you want to use it so much because of how good it makes you feel. Kathy, since April, I've definitely noticed when I used it, I have less pain type issues. With the weather recently being warm, I didn't use it as much and my aches and pains came back. And that is something that we hear a lot, and why we advocate so much for year-round consistent usage. And that's the same thing where if you're not using it consistently, you can just try and jump start into it again. Whatever you put into your body for these past 3, 4, 5 summer months, all that's still going to stay in there if you haven't sweat it all out. And yeah, there's still ways to get things out of the body. Sweating is the most efficient, the most effective way to get it all out, and also the most natural. So keep that in mind the next time you're thinking about ways to feel better, ways to get back out there on the boat the next summer day, ways to get back out there and play t-ball with the kids, ways to get to bed sooner, stay asleep longer, feel more refreshed that next day. And Kathy, like you said, once you use it, you start getting all those benefits. And if you stop using it, you might notice you're not getting all those same benefits. And that's because the infrared is getting down to that cellular level. So repairing damaged DNA, getting more oxygenated blood flow throughout your entire body. So circulatory issues, same thing, neuropathy, any inflammation, arthritis, those are all key benefits. Hey, Hendrix, thanks for joining. Welcome. We are deep in the sauna, and what we are going to call the struggle bus just took our ticket for the night, and that is going to be something that we really enjoy. When that heart rate gets above, let's say, the 115, 120s, get yourself a ticket to the struggle bus, because that's when you're really starting to see those benefits. And having to stay in, or enjoying to stay in those last few minutes in that high heat type environment is really amplifying that cardiovascular workout. It's amplifying those detoxifying benefits. And so when you're looking for just that quick, immediate relief, it may be good for, like I said, the instant muscle relaxation, muscle recovery, but it's going to compound long-term for your heart health as far as just reducing your risk for Alzheimer's, dementia. Katie Darcy, does this help with menstrual cramps? Yes, Katie, this helps with muscle relaxation. So again, helping regulate your body and just helping with a lot of the hormone regulation as well too. So tons of benefits. I know a lot of our lady counterparts would be more than happy, or a lot of my female coworkers would be more than happy to go through their kind of experiences or answer any questions you have about that. I mean, not my area of expertise, but I know there are some benefits for sure. Heart rate, guys, again, up in the 120s now. We burned roughly 152 calories, and I don't have a ton of calorie to burn, but that's something where I've noticed, even though I ate something right before we got in tonight, I'm still not having that same abrasive type heat the traditional sauna can have. That's going to put your body in a shock type state. Like I said, the first time I walked in a traditional sauna, I almost thought it was broken just because of how abrasive it was. It was burning my feet. I was like, this ain't right. But I later found out that that's actually what it's supposed to do. So much more enjoyable to use an infrared sauna for your first time than to go in like a steam room or traditional. So I think I see why traditional saunas and steam rooms and just saunas in general maybe have this connotation of being a pretty abrasive type high heat environment that you got to be this try hard gym bro to get into, when in all reality it doesn't have to be. It can be a nice peaceful experience that every and anyone can get benefits, no matter what age, no matter what walks of life. And looks like we got Ben in the chat. Lizman, thanks for joining as well. We're deep. We're on the struggle bus. You guys are coming in late. The heart rate's already up in the 120s. Calorie burn is up in the 160s. And so I didn't use the sauna this morning, but I did before the session last week. And I noticed I can sit in it a little bit longer, but I feel like I'm not, again, getting necessarily any more benefit using it twice per day than I would if I were to just use it once per day. I think using it consistently 3-4 times a week is going to be a lot more beneficial than if you just use it twice a day for once a week. And so that's something that you'll hear from people who maybe have tried it out, where even if you try it out and let's say you use it at like a spa or a gym or a wellness center and you're like, oh, okay, it felt good, but I didn't really feel all that much. It's like going to the gym. if you go there once a week, if you go there once a month, you're not going to see or feel those benefits. It may feel good. You may know it's good for you. So there's some mental cognition to that. But as far as actual physical muscular breakdown, you're not getting much stronger after one session. Similar with the infrared sauna. Now, after you work out, you may feel good that next day because you're like, oh, I feel good. Muscles got some work going, got more blood flowing. Gonna have to repair some fibers in there, get a little bit stronger maybe, but probably not. But the infrared is the same thing. If you use it once a month and you're like, okay, that felt good, but I didn't really feel all that much. If you use it when you get it the first 5 to 6 days, that's when you're gonna really see and feel those long-term health benefits. I'm talking about deep detoxification that really can't get replicated with anything else naturally. With that deep muscle relaxation, you're never going to feel as relaxed. If you have just inflammation, it's going to get naturally just pushed out of your body. And then you're going to sleep a lot better, which is going to help regulate, help you feel more energized, more alert, more awake. So sweating helps create a lot of those happy hormones. Seasonal depression, even in those summer months, is still really beneficial to have and just get the epinephrines, the dopamines, the serotonins. We are deep, guys, on the struggle bus in the ramble mode. The analysis after the chat always says to wrap it up shortly after. I think I'm going to stop talking, but I enjoy staying in here, showing you guys the struggle a bit. Whew. But now it's like we've been in my heart is getting that really deep passive cardiovascular workout. But it's not to the point where I can't take a deep breath. So I'm getting a ton more benefits than if I was still in a traditional sauna. My heart rate's 120, but I'm going in an infrared sauna. I can nice deep breaths throughout the infrared. So Tanker, thanks for joining. Slow Flow MKE, thanks for joining. Welcome. We are deep in an infrared sauna session. Probably about an hour or so in. Heart rate's up in the 120s. We have been dripping sweat profusely. If you guys are interested in trying infrared saunas and are in the Milwaukee, Waukesha, Brookfield, Appleton, Green Bay, Twin City, Minnesota area, we have our locations where you can actually stop out, touch, see, feel them, give them a try for a full session if you want to, and then you can figure out which one's going to work best compared to just looking at the picture on the screen, which is where we're obviously talking now. But that's an experience that even if you don't get to do, still a virtual tour where we can actually jump on FaceTime, sit in here, look at your space together, do a virtual tour and figure out which one is actually going to work. It's a unreal shopping experience from the start. Just an unreal experience from the second you guys order to the second you get the sauna, and then years and years down the road. That will do it for another session, guys, of Sweating the Details. Have a happy Father's Day for all the great fathers out there that say, don't get me anything this year. Think if this is the time where maybe you need to just buy them a moment where they can come in, relax, rejuvenate, and recover. Until next time, guys, keep sweating. Peace.